Just talking about Ashes and rolling off a few old stories here. Remember your debut in Adelaide in the 1991 series. Can you tell us a bit about that day?
Yeah, well, obviously it was one I won't forget. Obviously, your first game for Australia is always one you never forget, and to make 100 in that game in Adelaide, which is one of my favourite grounds to play at, I certainly have fond memories. I batted as well as I can probably bat to. I came in, I think we were in a little bit of trouble, but right from the word go I felt really comfortable and everything hit the middle of the bat, so it was a pretty good start, but hard to keep up that sort of standard for the rest of my career, that's for sure.
Well, mate, it was a very composed and classy innings. How did you cope with the nerves of making your Test debut after already making 100+ first-class appearances?
Well, I was obviously nervous. I mean, anyone who plays for Australia, your first game, you're nervous, and it doesn't matter whether you play one game or 100. I think if you haven't got those nerves, then you're not thinking about the game. So that happens. But luckily, once I got my first shot away, I think I hit a 3 straight down the ground off Philip de Freitas. And once I got that away, you just really concentrated on your batting and on the next ball. So once you're in there, the nerves are certainly not as bad as when you're waiting to go into bat, which is the worst part of being a batsman.
Where does it rate in terms of career highlights for yourself?
I mean, it rates right up there as an innings, just from a pure batting, side of things. The way I hit the ball, and to make 100 on debut, well, it's not too often it happens. So I've got to rate it up there with probably my top 4 or 5 innings. But being the first one, it's always a special one.
Now, you only missed 2 more tests in a pretty celebrated 12-year test career. Do you think that sort of paved the way for a successful amount of runs coming after?
Well, it's a good way to start, to get 100 in your first test. I mean, it gives you a little bit of a leeway as far as the selectors are concerned. Once you start well, I think it relieves a bit of pressure as well. You don't have that build-up of pressure of when's my first score going to come. So, I think it's obviously a great way to start your career. But on the other hand, you've got to be careful that you don't get too carried away. With that performance, you've got to work hard in every game you play. So, doing well early on is good, but you've got to keep working hard to keep that standard up.